Let's see if this is working. Is it working? I think I said start streaming. Let's see what happens. I'm a few minutes early, so okay, all right. Looking on my other screen, it does seem to be working. Okay, all right. I wanted to start a few minutes early just to kind of make sure all my technology was working. Let's see how my screen sharing is doing. Okay, yeah. Okay, cool. Screen sharing is doing cool. All right, now let's try. I'm gonna set a starting soon screen. I don't think anybody else is here yet, but just in case, we will actually be getting started in a minute. Okay. I'm sorry, that was probably a really abrupt jump in the music. Don't know if we have anybody here just yet, but I'm going to go ahead and switcheroony, make sure we're all working. So, okay, yeah, sorry. I was, like, watching myself sort of in the live over here and also trying to, like, I have, like, so many different screens up right now. Like, I have my dashboard that's sort of showing some stats. Oh, my dog just wagged his tail. And then I had, like, another one up of, like, the video just to make sure this was, like, actually recording and stuff. So there's lots going on. I'm using today something new from what I was using last week. I'm using something called OBS, which is apparently what everybody recommends you use. I see we've got some viewers coming in here. If you go back and watch the recording of this later, you'll see the first like 10 minutes was just kind of me hopping on real quick and saying hello and then being like, okay, I'm going to try out something. And I was able to like switch to another, what's called scene, and it had this like title sequence of like starting soon and all this fun little like music-y stuff going on. So that was fun, and better than last week. It seems I've already got my screen share stuff working here, so that's pretty good and pretty exciting. So really happy about that. But yeah, I'll go ahead and wait maybe another second or so to see if anybody else wants to straggle in here. But how is everybody doing? Happy Friday. Happy lunchtime on Friday. Well, depending on where you're at, it may not be lunchtime. Happy time. You can see I've got my Trello board. I haven't done anything besides actually create the board that says, meal planning remake here. Like all I've done is create the board. I created one thing just because I want to make sure, like one test list just because I want to make sure it was sharing. But haven't done anything else yet. All right, hold on. Let's see, gotta check the chats. My sister, I don't know if she's actually watching right now or not, but she asked me if this is going, she's messaging me on Instagram asking if this is going to fix our meal planning board. Man, Rachel, I think I've actually changed ours so much from this point. It's that one. Let's see. Okay. See any other chats? Okay, cool. All right, Andy. Oh, interesting. Why is there echo? Well, that's weird. Huh. Let's see. How about I switch? Let me switch my mic. I wonder. I don't know why it would be echoing, because I just have the one. I wonder if I'd like... Here, let's see. Let's try another mic. Hold on one second. Okay, is this better? Now that I've got my, using my headphone mic and not my actual mic. I wonder why my mic is being echoey. Let's see, I'm gonna try to bring it up real quick and go see if I can listen to myself, which is horrific. I don't recommend that if you've never done that. Lots of clickety-clack. There's going to be lots of clickety-clacking, just so everybody's aware. I have yet to figure, well, not yet to figure out. I intentionally got a loud keyboard, and I stand by it. But, yeah, that's probably going to going to be a thing. But the nice thing about Trello is there's a lot more dragging and dropping. Okay, Andy says yes, so I'm going to assume we're sounding better here now. Okay, good. It's hard because I'm delayed on this chat, and there's a setting where you can say delay this or that, and I have it set to 0, but there's still like what I feel like is a solid minute delay between like when I do something over here and you all finally see it, and then therefore when I see the chat. So yeah, but okay. All right, so we're all good to go. I got Andy here. I've got I would definitely butcher pronouncing that name, but I'm super happy you're here as well. So yeah, okay. Let's get started, shall we? So today, what we're doing is meal planning. So basically, I've had this on my to-do list for a while, and yes, in a Trello card, to create a better meal planner, because I'll actually start by showing you kind of what I currently am using. It's not terrible. It works, but it needs some improvement, and I just don't know what exactly I want to do with it. So I know a couple features and things I want to improve in it, but basically, I've got a shopping list over here that it's kind of gotten out of hand. Part of it is because my sister and I were using this, and then when I moved in my own place, and now my partner and I are using it here, but we're all still sort of using the same board. So that makes it a little bit tricky because there's like 2 different locations and all sorts of complications there. But so anyways, so we have that going on there, and then we've got meals on deck, which is kind of like, here's what I'm planning to make this week. Meal ideas, which is basically like my recipe bank, and then these were like special sort of occasion-y things. It's not terrible, but it definitely needs some like refining, because I've tried to like I said, add some features in and just haven't really cleaned it up, and I'm also tired of having to pick what I want from here to show up over here. So that's kind of my one piece why I want to call it a random meal generators, because that's what I want to fix. I want to be able to, get some ideas here. I also want some like filters here that will help me see like, is this a crock pot meal? Is this is this like a Meatless Monday type of thing, or what's all going on here? So but overall, I'll show you what I do like about Trello. I like that I can attach images and like just kind of scroll through, like here's the ingredients screenshotted, here's the instructions screenshotted, and I can have a link to the recipe. Usually that's like actually straight up attached to it, but yeah, like this. So like I can go straight to the recipe if I want. And I don't know if we're going to solve this one today. I'd love to, but I want to be able to go to like a recipe page, and I want to be able to like, okay, so you can see I'm actually trying out this Chrome extension to see if it works. But like anybody else here, I literally hate reading through everybody's freaking life story and all of their pictures and all their commentary before I can actually get to it. And so I'm using this Chrome extension, but I would love for Trello to do it, where like I just say, here's the ingredients, boom, boom, put that in Trello in the description, give me the ingredients and give me the instructions, and like, let's just be done with it. But right now I'm using this Chrome extension. I think it's this one. Let me see. No, wait, it's maybe not that one. It's called, oh, it is, yeah, Recipe Filter. I'll go ahead and post a link to that in the chat, Chrome extension. But yeah, ideally, there's a way to get this like straight inside Trello. Like I would love to attach a link to Trello and it does all of that and then parses out in the description basically those things right there. I again don't think we're going to solve that one today, but I'm okay with that. I'm pretty happy with this solution at the moment, so we're going to incorporate that. But I definitely want them to be text in the description, because one of the features that have been requested is being able to make it like create a shopping list based on what all you're doing here. So we're gonna try this and sort of see what we can make with it. But all right, so let's go over here to our board, meal planning remake. So things that I want to keep from my last one that I think I still want to do. I want to have a shopping list, and what I've been doing is like, I don't know if I want to have a card for each store that I go to. I don't know if I want to have a card for each item and maybe a label for the store that it's at. I don't know. We can play around with that. I know I want to have like meals on deck, which is basically like, you know, upcoming meals, where when I'm doing meal planning, what I would love to is hit a button and it spit 3 meals over there. So let's get our recipe bank here. And then that might be all we need. So what I am going to do is I'm not going to add over all my recipes, or am I going to add over all my recipes? I think I might add over all my recipes. So let's see. I'm going to copy this list. And then move this list. You definitely should have copied all the cards. Did I not tell it to copy? Or here, we're just going to move the list. It's really what we're going for anyways. Feel free, anybody in the chat, if you're ever like, oh, I want to see how you do this, or ooh, what if you tried this? I'm trying to keep an eye on it, so I will, you know, happily. What is Trello doing? Why are we not giving me the option to move the list here? Move list. This is very strange. Okay, maybe it was still stuck on trying to do that. Okay. Whatever. Move list. There we go. This is what it should have been doing. Okay. What did I call this one? Meal planning, remake. Just move it over there. And then it's probably because I'm doing all sorts of things. Everything's moving slow. It's going to pop up over here. It really is. I don't know why Trello is moving slow. This is really slow, though. Trying to see if there's anything going on my end. No, see, it's still sending. Dang. Okay, this is really rare for Trello to take this long. Okay, granted, like that I probably do have well over 100 cards in that list. Maybe what we'll do is we'll just start by, you know, creating, let's see, slow cooker chicken breast. Sure. So again, now you're coming over. Again, I would love for this to be a little less manual, but basically we've got the recipe here, and then we've got ingredients. Get rid of that list. We don't need that anymore. And we've got too many tabs. Instructions. Okay. Save that. So I'm actually going to leave this here and call this meals to clean up, because I realize now I do want to keep these meals, but I'm going to want them all in the same format, which is part of my problem here. So, also I think we had someone else join. Hello to whoever's joining. I'm slowly getting my bearings here. You're joining at where we're just basically you know, getting the lay of the land here. I've got my shopping list that I want to generate. I haven't decided if I want it to be a card for each item or a big checklist in a card, or what all I want to do there. But we're working right now on the data normalization piece of this, so I can start building out some sort of automation here. I want my recipe bank. So right now I've got slow cooker chicken breast. I probably still want to link to that recipe in the card, just in case I ever, I don't know, maybe I'll get curious about their life story and why they grew up on a farm and what made them want to slow cook this chicken. So, okay, so I think I need to, this is where I want to start thinking through like my filters. Like, how do I want to kind of organize, like what do I want to basically tag this recipe as? So one thing I know for sure, definitely want slow cooker to be a tag, because, you know, that's always handy. I think I probably want to include the type of meat, which is going to be chicken. Although, honestly, pretty much eat chicken or, like, turkey sausage with, like, a periodic steak here and there in my house. So I don't know entirely how helpful. Yeah, that'd probably be helpful, actually. I do want to know if I have chicken, because then I'll know if I've still got, like, frozen chicken or not, or if I need to add that to my grocery list. Like, okay. So, okay, so yeah, doing that. Let's think. Brain of Brittany over here. If I want anything else on this, I think I don't want anything else on this just yet. I'm going to leave it here and probably come back to it. Let's add in another recipe. I want one that has a link, because I really want the text versions of the recipe so I can kind of play around with it. Okay. Yeah, sure, this should be a good one. Another slow cooker one. Although I think we're going to need another, like, non-slow cooker one here in a second, but that's okay. Okay. I want it to attach that, not put that there. And yeah, okay, I'm feeling this Chrome extension. It's pretty not bad. Ooh, it would even let you change based on how many, servings you want to, or whatever you want to have of it. That's kind of cool. Okay. I don't know that I need it to say ingredients. I didn't want it to copy over all that other stuff there. Oh, jeez. Oh, no. Okay, come on. Come on. Yeah, Chrome is definitely, like, moving a little slowly for me here. I'm about to get a new machine, and it's going to be the new, like, M1 processor and all of that, so maybe that'll help with all of this, but I think OBS says right now my CPU, this is only taking up, like, 10%, which is, like, you know, hopefully, like, the video quality doesn't look too bad, but, yeah, I tried to make some adjustments on here to make sure it wasn't, like, taking up some sort of, like, crazy bandwidth. Okay, cool, so we've got that recipe in there. Let's tag that too. Slow cooker. It's also chicken. Let's try to find one more thing that's like different, not slow cooker. Until I really love using the crock pot. Ooh, okay. No, that's gonna take too long. Sure. Here, actually, you know what? I know what we're gonna do. We're gonna do turkey burgers because that's simple. I just buy ingredients. Frozen. Ooh. Okay, thinking out loud. I know I've got... Cook them. It gets pretty simple here. Okay, I'm realizing now, I think I actually may want to make the ingredients in the description items in a checklist, because then that's how we can build that shopping list, is basically anytime a card is moved into Meals on Deck, for each card in the checklist, go create another, I think I can make a Butler rule that'll say go create another card on the shopping list, and from there I can just check off like, ooh, I've already got this, already got this, already got this. So, okay, already rethinking my data. This is why I'm not adding tons of recipes yet until I figure out what I want to do with them, but you gotta have something to work with, you know? This does, by the way, I don't know if you saw what just happened there. Basically, I highlighted all of that and copied it, and Trello was smart enough to realize each new line was a new item. Super helpful. I don't know that there's any reason to do that with the instructions. So I won't. And actually, to be honest, I'm going to leave the ingredients up there for now. Okay, I think I like that. And then, same thing over here. Checklist ingredients. And then, yeah, look at that move just like that. And then, okay, let's do that on this guy. We also need to tag him. Turkey burgers. Okie dokie. Labels. We're going to give it... I mean, that's kind of its own type of meat because I just buy the frozen turkey burgers, like, in a packet. I don't know how everybody else does it, but we're just going to call it ground turkey. Fits in the same genre. Okay, save. And then it's not slow cooker. There's not really any specific, like, when slow cooker is a useful label for me because I want to know that's like a meal that I can just do that with. But, like, sorry, I'm used to my camera being over here and now it's over here. So slow cookers, like, I just want to know I can be done with it. But I also want to know if it needs any, like, specific tools. I'm trying to think what else it would need. Like, smoothies need a blender. I might notice something uses an air fryer. But other than that, slow cooker is probably really the only tool I'm worried about at this point. So, okay. So let's say now, basically what I think I want to happen is I want there to be a board button here that, obviously there's going to be a bunch more on here, but I'm not going to make you watch me normalize all of these. So there's going to be a button on here that when I click, it randomly picks one and moves it to Meals on Deck. So let's see if we can build that. Go over here to board button, create button, pick a meal, add action. I feel like there's something under, like, is it list? Like, I swear I've seen something that's like, pick a random card. Let's see. Maybe I'm not going to be able to do it in a board button, but let's see. Let's just observe what we got here. Move each card, move all the cards. Ah, randomly selected, go. Move one randomly selected card. This is exactly what I want. From the list, recipe bank, to list, meals on deck. So, ooh, I can also do multiple. So if I want to, like, eventually change this for, like, weekly stuff to be, like, pick 3, I can change that. But let's just do that for now. And I still want to be able to layer on some additional criteria, like, wait, did I not create that? I still want to be able to layer on some additional criteria, like, did I not save that? What the hell? Like, being able to filter for, like, crockpot meal or not. But maybe I don't need to do that if I also make a veto button that will just swap it, basically, or like a swap button, you know, where, like, if I hit that, it'll take the last moved card and swap it back in, then randomly generate another one. So maybe I'll be okay with that. Let's see. Let's try this again. I don't know why that didn't work. Okay, I'm going crazy. No, here it is. Okay. Move one randomly selected card from recipe bank to list meals on deck. Probably didn't save it. Yeah, I didn't see the confetti, so I didn't save it. Okay, there it is. Move one randomly selected card from recipe bank. Okay, so when I hit pick a meal, it's going to randomly grab one and move it over. Boom! All right, we're having slow cooker chicken curry this week. Cool. Let's build a veto button and see if I like that veto button or swap button. And if I don't, then we'll probably layer on some additional criteria where it's like, I want to be able to, and maybe the way I do that is I build different lists based on, like, instead of having like just one big recipe bank, there's like recipe bank like slow cooker, recipe bank like whatever those criteria are, and then I can have pick a meal from, and that's sort of, you know, like pick a meal from slow cooker, pick a meal from, that way I can, you know, just basically let it randomly generate a meal based on my criteria. So we'll see. As with any board, I doubt I will be done with it today. I always iterate on my boards, and my goal is to make them as simple as possible, without, like, making them overly complicated to start with, because sometimes I'm like, ooh, I'll use this, and I'll use this, and I'll use this, and then I don't use any of that. So, yeah. All right, so let's go back. Let's try a swap, because that's definitely what people were saying they were wanting to see. Swap meal. All right, let's see now. This might be a little tricky, because I basically want it to... okay. So one thing I can do is I can go clarify on my other command that I want it to move to the top of the list. And then what I can say is there a way to say move first card in a list? All the cards, each card. Move, no, Interesting. Ooh, I know what I could do. I could use my same sort of label that I use for, if you were watching last week, my other boards, my like send back and back and forth one, where when I apply a label to this, it's basically vetoing it and it sends it back. So that way it's like right on that card and knows what to do with that. I actually think I'm going to do that. Okay, so I'll make a rule. So let's say I want to veto a meal. Create rule. Well, first I need to actually make my label. Let's make it, just to keep it consistent with my other boards, I'm going to give it a rocket ship. Sometimes I like having emojis. Plus the rocket ship's kind of cool for, you know, sending a card back and forth. Hold on one second. Checking some chatty chats. Okay, let's see. Let's say swap. Ooh, I bet I can actually do this with, yeah, okay. So, I guess, okay, I'm thinking through now. I could I could just make this basically like send back. Like where as soon as you apply the label, it moves that card back into the recipe bank. Could do that. Or I could say when you hit send back, it goes back to that list and also randomly grabs you another meal. So basically I need to decide, do I want to send back or do I want to swap? Part of me is thinking like I just leave it, like I guess it's nice for it to be one less click. I think, yeah, is that nice? Yeah, that's probably nicer to combine those actions because it could be one less click. Part of me is like, what if I just want to send it back? Then I'd probably just drag it over. Like, if I really want to swap, if I'm sending it back, I likely want another recommendation. So, okay, we're going to tie all those together now. So you'll see how I'm going to do this in a second. Also, sorry, is this helpful at all? Like, is anybody like tired of hearing how my brain works and it's just too much? Let's see. Okay, pick a meal. Oh wait, no, I definitely didn't mean to click that, but okay, sure. Generate another one for me. Rules. Um, Okay, so create rule. So we want when card changes. When the swap label is added to a card, we want to move the card to the top of the list, send it back to the recipe bank, and then, oh, interesting. I don't know, do we have the randomly generated? Let's see. Maybe I actually can't tie these together. There's got to be a way I can do that. Let's see. Members, content. No, because this is all going to do this to the card. Sort the list. Cascade. Find. I don't really want to link the cards together. Collect all cards. That's not really what I want to do. We might just have to make it a veto. And then, yeah, maybe we just call it veto instead. But then, I don't love that because that's 2 clicks, but we'll work with that for right now. Like, let's see, hold on a second. I'm going to change the name of that label. I'm just going to call it veto for now. And go back and fix my rule in case that broke it. Sometimes, anybody else ever notice that sometimes Butler's like totally fine with you changing variable names? Or like list and card names and different things, and then sometimes it's like, nope, can't handle that. I'm sure there's a science to it, and I just haven't figured out what it is yet. So, okay. Okay, let's just check this now and double check it works. Anytime you're building something, you always want to check it one step of the way. I'm also going to want to make it remove that label. So let me update that rule for that too. But that works. See, it moved it over. I was hoping like right there I could see like one's enabled on. Oh, I can enabled on this board. Yes. Oh my God, that's life changing. Okay. Okay, so move it to the top of the list and then remove that label. Move that veto label just to clean it up because I don't want to end up having a bunch of cards with that. So, okay, cool. So what's going to happen is, yeah, labels, veto. Okay. So what's going to happen is I'm going to say, hey, pick me a meal. It'll grab something from over there, bring it over. And then I'm going to say, actually, I don't want that. And I'll give it the veto label. Which is, to be honest, is that helpful? Like, that's kind of more clicks than if I were just to drag it back over there. I'm not sure that's actually helpful, but we'll hold on to that for the minute. That might be like an abstraction or just like, you know, making things more complicated than it needs to be here, but we'll hold on to that. But then it'll swap me in another meal. Okay. The more I'm doing this, the more I'm thinking, I actually think I want separate lists. Like, I think I want, like, whatever my main criteria are, which is, like, slow cooker, meat, non-meat, and then, like, I'm trying to think what else I'd group my meals by. Ooh, I know what I would group them by. New. Like, on, like, recipes I haven't tried before. And, oldies. Although, these are mutually exclusive. Like, no, we don't need oldies. We just need new, because once it's been done, it's either going to fall into slow cooker or one of these other ones. Slow cooker. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I think that's it, because I generally don't fuss with, like, long meals. Like, if it's in here, then it's going to be a fairly simple. Maybe we have, like, ultra simple. I don't know why I can make them 2 words. Okay. Maybe that's what we do. We have ultra simple. And everything else is like a medium, easy to medium level of simple. Like, I rarely have, like, this is a whole ordeal to make type of things in here. Although occasionally that happens. But, like, I would group turkey burgers actually under the ultra simple. But that raises a good question of, like, how does that alternate between meat versus non-meat? Now that I think about it, the reason I have slow cooker is because it is ultra simple. So maybe, like, I combine those. This is where I don't know if this is actually interesting to anyone else just watching me kind of, like, think out loud about what I want. I'm going to sip on my coffee and think for a second here. Also, if anyone has any ideas, feel free to post in the chat about how you would want this structured or what you might see. But basically what I'm trying to do is, like, I want different lists for, like, different criteria, so I can say, pick an easy meal, pick a meatless meal, pick a, new meal, and then it spits it out. You know what? I just realized, rather than actually having a button, I could do a, basically, Butler's version of cron jobs, where, like, on a due date, like, or on a calendar date, I could say, like, every Sunday. Let's see if I can do that, or if it has to be tied to a button. Tell it to randomly pick a meal from, like, each one. Don't know that I want that, because I still want to have, like, this is where apparently I have a very specific vision. I want to have, like, a little bit of control, but not have to think about it. How about every... Actually, I probably need to do it on Friday, because we'll go grocery shopping over the weekend usually, but... Yeah! Every Friday, move one randomly selected card. See, that's what I could do! I could just move it. Like, every Friday, just pick one from each list, and then, if I don't like anything, veto or drag it back and click the pick a meal buttons. I think I like that. Okay. So that was a bit of a side tour and doesn't really solve initially what we're doing here. So, okay, we're going to get rid of slow cooker and leave that as a label, but I'm just going to have basically, like, ultra simple. Here, I'm going to have, like, meatless, and then generic. So basically, I think these are able to be, like, you fall under here unless you're one of the other criteria. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe that's how, Oh, Pixie Bricks is here watching. Sorry, once again, my camera's over here. Hi! Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you guys are watching in your team meeting. I hope this is interesting. Yeah, and feel free jumping in the chat if you're like, hey, you could probably do this or that with Pixie Bricks. Because yeah, right now it's really not a Trello or any automation problem. I'm really just trying to figure out, like, what I personally, like, want here. What's my, like, sort of vision? So yeah, I think what I'm thinking is every meal is going to, like, default to generic unless it has one of these special qualities, like I've never made it before, so it's new, or it's meatless, or it's, ultra simple. And so that way I will have on, every Friday or whatever, it'll randomly pick a meal from, maybe I wanted to pick one meatless, one ultra simple, and then one generic and one new. And that's 4 meals for the week. We usually really only need to make like 3 to 4, but maybe that's what I'll just have it do. Pick one from each one, and then if we end up not needing to make one, then cool, I've got stuff on hand and I'm already on a head start for next week. Okay, I like this. Okay. So right now, and I think meals will fall under the ultra simple if they're slow cooker. I will probably figure that out. Okay, so now let's build out that where this button, instead of just pulling one from recipe bank, it now pulls one from each. And then let's also test, make sure that works. Let's see, what is a meatless one that I have? Let's see, trying to find, anybody have any good meatless recipes? I'm trying to find one. I know there's this one that I make that's like this, like lasagna, something or the other. Ooh, what is this kitchen thing here? What is this? Oh, interesting. This must be, okay, I don't love this behavior actually, but this must be, Trello has some things where like if you put a link in a card, it'll like make it a linked card. I don't know why it's doing that, and to be totally honest, I don't love it. Yeah, there we go. I want to convert that to a regular card. I kind of like what they tried to do there, but it's not quite what I want. But if you've ever seen, if you put like a link in a Trello card, like I think you can do it with YouTube, you can do it with like a bunch of different things. Ooh, Andy, mac and cheese, that is a good one. But if you put like the link in a card, it'll basically do it so it looks like this, which like can be handy, but not for what I'm trying to accomplish here. So, maybe broccoli pasta actually looks really good. We're gonna move that guy over into new. Wonder when and how I did that. Because I don't usually attach it as the title of a card, but let's see. Mac and cheese is a good one. We're gonna do that for a meatless one. I actually have like a fancy like mac and cheese recipe, but I'm gonna keep it simple for this. So let's see. Ingredients. Checklist, duh. Was looking for ingredients. Okay, we're gonna keep this one simple and just say box of mac and cheese. Also, we had a debate recently in my house. I would love for anybody here. Oh, V, you're here. Yes, you'll recognize this debate. Boxed mac and cheese. There's various types here. There's the powdered type, which is the powder you combine with the milk and the butter, and there's that. And then there's the stuff that comes in the little like pouch, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like already there. You just like boil the noodles and then you like pour it on and mix it up. I personally think the pouch is like the deluxe stuff because it's like the cheese already. Like you don't have to see like I don't know, something about the powder. Like don't get me wrong, I love powdered mac and cheese, but like something about that is just like like cheese shouldn't be coming from powder. And I'm sure the pouch stuff also comes from powder, but something about it makes it feel more cheesy to me. But my sister and my partner are like, they actually prefer the powdered cheese. So like, I need to like anybody wants to weigh in here. Like, what is the right answer here? But ooh, yes, also vodka pasta. How did I forget that one? That's obviously we're like eating that this week. Which is probably why that's probably why I forgot about it because it's like not even on our list because I've actually got it over in our other one. But you know what? That's a whole thing because it has a whole list of ingredients. We will come back to that. Okay, so we've got something. Let's get something in new just because I want to test and make sure it's actually going to... Here, I'm going to call this... I don't know why I'm like screwing around with real recipes at this point. Test newbie. Usually when I'm like programming and looking for a random... Like I don't know what to call something. Foo and bar are just too... I don't know. Too cliche for me, so I usually use poop as my random thing, but that doesn't feel right with the food board, so item Okay. So now I'm going to go rework my meal and basically say, I'm going to make it a button. Or wait, did I want the buttons to be individual? No, I want the automation to drag one over from each week, but I still want a button for each one. That way, if I want to swap in something, that's a lot quicker. Okay. All right. So let's go back to buttons. I'm going to make 4 buttons. This should be fairly simple. Board button. Pick a meal. We're going to say pick a quick meal. Move 1 card from Ultra Simple. Save. Literally just going to copy this rule because all I'm changing is pick a meatless meal. Save. Pick, what else we got? New. Oh, did I leave? No, I did. Okay. Pick a new meal. Save. Then I'm just going to say quick, new, meatless. Okay, now I want generic. Pick a generic meal. So, yeah, I could actually, and maybe I will. I'm not planning to use a bunch of other power-ups here yet at the moment, so I think I'm okay with having buttons, but pick a generic meal. Save. Yeah, what the heck. Okay, I'm going to create one button that'll do it all, just in case I want. Pick week's meals. Basically, just going to keep adding this action. Move 1 randomly card from generic to list meals on deck. And then move 1 from ultra simple meatless to meals on deck. And move 1 from new, although admittedly I don't try a new recipe every week. That sounds like really ambitious, and I don't do that. Okay, so let's just check real quick. This would be more fun if I had a lot more cards in here, but you know what the heck, it doesn't matter at this point. I'm just gonna watch some move around here. Okay, so if I pick one at a time, like pick a quick meal, it's gonna randomly grab one from there, stick it over there, right? Yeah. I don't know why Butler's running so slow today. It generally moves faster than this, but yeah, I did that. Okay, I'm just testing it, moved it back. And now I'm going to pick week's meals, should move 1 from each. As slow as Butler moves right now, this is going to take a minute. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Admittedly, didn't feel super random because it just kind of grabbed the top one, but I think that's just because it didn't really have that many choices to choose from, so we're gonna give that. But okay, so it did the thing, so I'm probably gonna set up a rule, like I said, that does that every week, but all it will do is mimic exactly what that is. The only difference is, well, here, let's actually go set that up real quick. You do it by calendar. That's their version of like if your trigger is a date. So I want to say every Friday at, I don't know. Actually, I don't. I'm only saying this because I want it to run on this Friday. So sure, let's say Friday at 5 p.m. Move cards. Move 1 randomly selected card from the list generic into meals on deck. Move 1 from ultra simple, which I don't know why I keep calling it ultra simple. I think I'm just going to change it to quick. 1 from meatless and 1 from new. Okay. Ooh, maybe I have 2 pick a week's meal. Like if I'm feeling adventurous this week, it'll pick 1 from new, and otherwise it'll pick 2 from generic. Maybe I do that. We'll contemplate. Again, this is going to be some iteration, but hopefully you can see at this point how you would do that if you're like, I actually wanted to grab 2 from here and none from one list. Like that, hopefully that made sense in where I've got that rule set up that literally all you would do is change, instead of move 1 random card, you'd pick like 2. So let's try that. Okay. Next piece, I want to try to figure out when something moves into meals on deck, I want it to grab everything in that checklist and create a card under shopping list, so you then have your shopping list. So I think we can do this, but it might require some finessing. Let's see. So what we want is basically create a rule when a card is, it'd probably be added into, or it'd probably be moved into, but added is just a safety one for us that basically includes all of the things. You can see the note underneath it, but the card moves into meals on deck. I basically, let's see, checklist. Don't check an item, don't add content, fields, sort, cascade. Here we go. For each checklist item, repeats the actions filling it for each checklist item. Boom, this is it, folks. For each checklist item, now this next action, we're going to want to, I want to create a new card for each checklist item. I don't necessarily want to convert them. Convert all the checklist items into cards. Let's see what these options are. Why is it not letting me select lists? I think it's called shopping. Using pattern. No, I don't really need a pattern. Copying. I don't need it to copy labels. Convert the... See, my fear is, I think that gets rid of them, though. Yeah, I don't actually think that's the action I want. So for each checklist item, I don't want it to convert them all. I want it to make a new card with it. Let's see. Sits and sips on coffee for a second. How would I make this? Which checklist item? Ooh! Here we go. Duh. Create a new card with the title. Duh. How did I miss this? Okay. And this is where we're going to get Butler variables to pull what the name of it is. Checklist item name. Checklist item name right there. Okay. So go over here. And that's how you reference Butler variables, by the way. So create a new card with that title in the list, shopping list. We do want a new one. We do not want a unique one. That isn't going to solve if like 6 different meals need pasta, which wouldn't be abnormal in my house. It's not going to like combine them. I may find a way to do that here in a second, but I think this does what we want here. So, okay. All right, so now let's practice, okay? Let's say I want to pick a generic meal. What it should do is it should move that guy over to meals on deck, which should then create a trigger. Yes, see it happen, see it. You simply love to see it, folks. And there's your shopping list for the week. In an ideal world, this would like sync with my pantry and tell me if I already have it or not. But that feels a little more advanced for we can solve in the next 12 minutes. But okay. Okay, so this is definitely getting close to where I like here. I still want something that sort of combines them. So like, let's say I do another recipe that says I need half a cup of whipping cream and like this thing, or like, you know, let's say this thing says, well, there's 2 things. One, I'd like it to get rid of things like salt. Like, I have salt. I don't need that. I could probably set up where it will like archive things if it's like it'll just archive a card if the contents contain something like salt. Let's do that actually. That's one start. So rules. So create rule. And I can specify like just in that list. So basically like card content. When the name of a card contains salt, you can make it. I'm gonna add a I think that's okay. My only thought is like, all right, is there like a special salt that I'm not going to get a special salt. I'm not that kind of person. I'm not good at those things. Okay, so when a name of a card in the list, shopping list, contains salt, I'm going to be like, just archive that card. So that way, and what I'd probably end up doing is, I wonder if you can add multiple things here. Like if I add pepper, does that work or is it probably not? I might need to make, I wonder if I need to make multiple triggers for each one. Let's see actually. I don't know if these docs would state that, but that's a good question that I could ask because like ideally I could just update multiple things there. But honestly, there's not a ton of things that would be like that because even like most spices, like I like to double check that I still have enough on hand. So honestly, salt and pepper are the only things that I could really think of. That and maybe chicken stock, just because I bought so much of it from Sam's Club. Okay, so now another last sort of real piece I'd like to try solve here in the next 10 minutes is, can I group these? I do think that's a little trickier though, because basically every time a card is added, I want to see if there's another card with it in that list and combine it. I think that might be making it harder than it needs to be. And part of me is like, oh, well, I'll just, alphabetize them. But I don't think that's even going to work because they're all like measurements, like, pounds and stuff, which I think is okay. I don't think I mind that. Although maybe what we do over here is we leave the amounts up here and ingredients we just say like what it is. But although sometimes I like knowing I need a 15-ounce can of chickpeas, like, you know what I mean? Or like when I need chicken stock, do I need half a cup or do I need 4 cups? Because like that's like a thing of it or part of a thing of it. Maybe I just get like labels. Maybe this would take a little while, but it would be nice to be like a one-time thing, I guess, to just like take a little while and build like some labels that's like, if card content contains milk, give it the dairy label. If card content contains eggs, give it the dairy label. If card content contains sweet potatoes. I think that's where I really am going to need to figure out if this guy can accept multiple things. Because if so, that will let me scale this real quickly. Let's just try it, shall we? Here, let's try create rule. I'm trying to think if I want a rule or I think I want a board button. No, let's just try it in a rule and I'll have it run the rule. I don't know what the trigger the trigger obviously would be when it's added to that list, so maybe we just move it back and forth to play around with it. When a card is, the name of a card in shopping list contains you can enter wildcard as part of text match any sequence of characters or words. Oh, I mean, admit it. No, I can't. No, I can't. Hang on. Let's try this. I was like, oh, maybe I can just add that. But no, I don't think I can add multiple triggers. Contains, let's see, eggs, milk. Add or remove. Let's just say add a purple label. Sure. Okay. So now what I'm going to try is I don't know that it's going to work because I think it's going to look for like literally a string that is eggs, comma, milk. But I want it to not. I might have to chat with the team and see, because that would suck. Like, I mean, I guess that would be quite a bit of rules, because I'd have to think of a rule for every ingredient to group it. But once I did that one time, then like I could have a button that sorted them all by product type and go from like produce to whatever. And then at least, I wouldn't have like eggs at the top and eggs at the bottom. If anybody has any ideas for this, but this might be a thing that like be a nice feature for sure if I could make that rule to apply. I'm trying to think. The name of the card, and let's see. Let's try it again. Card contents. When the name of a card starts with, ends with, contains. See, I want contains. I want multiple things. I'm going to read on here real quick and see if there's anything that says this. I don't think it would because it's variables, but like dates, board. Yeah, I don't think variables are going to help me out here. Okay. Backup plan if I can't do that. There's got to be a way, though, for me to, like, because I'm sure all this is taking is, like, a string. So there's got to be a way for me to, like, escape, like, that comma. Well, maybe not. Maybe this rule is really only meant to take one string and not an array of strings. But, okay. So TBD, that part will still work on. A backup for it might be... What would a good backup for it be? Anybody have any ideas? Sipping coffee again. Because that really would be a pain in the ass to build a rule for. Like, just even these. Rule for chicken. A rule for turkey. I'd have to apply, like, 4 or 5 different things that could be for meat. Because I'd probably have meat. And then produce and dairy. And then admittedly, everything else could fall under other. Like, I don't need to really categorize everything, but... Well, I guess maybe that wouldn't be too terrible because I'd have... Like... Sorry, I'm just, like, drawing this out now. But you want to move to the whiteboard? Can I move y'all to the whiteboard? Let's see. Gently move you all over to the whiteboard. It's going to take me a second to, like, see if this is actually even working. Because of the lag here. Although, actually, I should be able to see on OBS. What are we seeing? Okay. Yeah, you can kind of see the whiteboard. Okay. Because, like, what I'm thinking through here is, like, I'm going to have, we're going to have dairy. Oh, this is a rough marker. You definitely can't see that. I mean, to be honest, I don't know that you'll see any of it, but we're going to have dairy. And then we're going to have, like, meat, produce, and then that's pretty much all I group them by. So everything, I just need to make rules for those 3, and then everything else, well, because, yeah, I guess I could say everything else would have the other label, but would it have to check that I'd have to make that other label be a trigger that happens not on move, because on move it's going to apply one of those, so it would need to check after the move. if it has one of those labels, but I don't think that would be too hard to do. But anyways, so dairy would be like eggs, milk, cookies, oat milk, creamer, whipping cream. Yeah, like, see, I'm already thinking of way too many things here. Dairy is probably the hardest, admittedly, though, because, like, sweet potatoes would be a produce. Just thinking through things like I usually get. But then there's always, like, edge cases, too. Like, maybe I'm overthinking the edge cases. Am I overthinking this here? We got sweet potatoes, apples, avocados, carrots, normal ass potatoes. Yeah, I think I'm overthinking this because I think that's going to be a lot to engineer that isn't necessarily going to like I can make a bunch of rules, but you can see right here, like, and that's not even counting the like 3 meats I mentioned, which, yeah, turkey burgers are technically a separate kind of meat that I would get. And that's not even counting like all of the things there. So, okay, so maybe I stop trying to over-engineer this so much, and I just realized Stitch fell down behind me at some point. When did that happen? Did anybody notice that? I thought that command strip might need some extra love. That's okay. Yeah. Let's see, where are we at here? I think we might have to wrap this up and call it good enough. Because, yeah, and as you're shopping, obviously, you just, like, archive the cards as you go. It's not terrible. Like, I mean, you've got all the things you need. Honestly, I'm going to go through this list before I go to the grocery store anyways, because I'm going to want to be like, what do I already have at home? Be like, oh, I've already got chicken at home. I do need an onion, do need chickpeas. You know, like, I actually have that. I'm going to, like, go through and look through what I've already got. So maybe I don't worry as much about doing that, because then I'm going to be down to, it's not like I'm ever going to buy 100 different things, so it's going to be probably more like 15. And then, yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. Okay. I'm feeling pretty good about this. I still need to obviously normalize all of my recipes and put them over here into their buckets, add any other labels that I want to, like, tag them by. And yeah, and make sure, you know, I've got the ingredients in the checklist and whatever. But I've got an automation and a button that will, with a click, give me 4 meals or let me randomly pick one of a genre. And then I know what's on deck for the week based on what it's picked there. I have that veto button. I don't think it's actually helpful. I think it's going to be easier just to drag that back in. But it is there, and what I could do is something like I showed you all last week, where I have a custom field that basically, when a card is set or added to a list, it like updates with, oh, that's what you're associated with, and then I have a rule that when I move it back, it moves it back to the list it's part of. I could do that. That actually might be a good reason for keeping that veto button, so I don't have to figure out like, I don't know how I categorize this, but I don't know that that's that difficult. Let's actually just build that real quick. Origin list. I'm just going to call it origin. It's a string, create. And then I'm going to say automation, rules, create rule. When a card is added to a list, any list, I need to pick a list. No, okay, but any, into the board, moved into the board, emailed into the board. Now I basically need when a card is. I think I want when a card is created, or when a card is added to the board. I think I want that. Content, No, it's fields. I want to set the custom field origin to, this is where we need list name, card list name. And so that way that'll have that data set. And then I'm going to go back to my veto button. I wish I would have saved that filter. That would have been nice. Can I go ahead and delete that because that doesn't work. Name of card. Added the meals on deck. No, this guy. This is the rule. It's like, what rule am I looking for? When move the card is added to, okay. I do want you to move to the top of the list, and that's where I need to access that. I think it is set origin. And that's where it will grab list it's from, labels, remove, veto label. I don't know why I said move it to the top. It doesn't really matter because it's all going to be random, but okay. When that's added to a card, move it there. Okay. So now let's just double check this works. Let's see. Quick meal. Should add ultra simple to origin. Okay, it did. Man, Butler is moving real slow today. That seems very strange. Okay, and then when I've got it over here, if I add labels, veto, it should move it back to ultra simple. And remove the veto card. Yep, okay, perfect. All right, so I am going to keep that send back label just so if I'm like, I don't want that, it quickly sorts it back to where it's supposed to go. But otherwise, yeah, I've got all these buttons I need. I might actually change pick a generic or pick a week's meals to be just 3 meals, and then if I want an extra one, I'll decide, oh, I'm feeling adventurous, I'm going to try a new meal. So I'm going to do that with my automation as well, or my like weekly rule. Didn't mean to have the show menu there. So basically, I'm just going to remove the pick one from generic, one from fast, one from meatless. I'm going to get rid of new, and I'll just save that for weeks that I'm feeling adventurous, and I'll hit an extra button there, board button. Pick week's meals. Don't grab a new one. And it's just one more click if I am feeling adventurous, so. Okay. I also might change some of these things. Like I might change those icons. That could be kind of fun, yeah. I'm otherwise probably about to wrap it up here. My lunch break is over. And I should go do other more productive things besides meal planning. That's the wrong card. Oh Lord, wrong button. But yeah, if anybody else has any comments or ideas or anything, post them in the chat. And I will, try to address them in the last minute or two here while I'm styling my icons. Not a lot of food-related items necessarily. I don't know that I like any of these icons. Like, I'll pick a calendar maybe for the week's meals. And then for pick a generic meal, we'll just do a random one like that. And then meatless. There's no like vegetables here. I don't know why bug feels both right and wrong at the same time, but it does. So yeah, sure, we'll go with that. And then something new that I haven't tried. I'm gonna give it the warning label. And then quick. Robot. Okay, cool. So I like that. I have some nice little icons up here. I feel good about this. And then as I think through new things throughout the week, I can just add it to the shopping list. And then when I'm online ordering or going in person, just archive as I go. And that's all saved over here. And yeah. Oh, I guess at the end of the week, I need something like after I've made it. I guess I could just apply the veto label is basically going to move it back to wherever it belongs. So maybe I just do that. Like, maybe I don't call it veto. I call it, like, I don't know, just send back or whatever. That way, whether I am vetoing it or I'm done with it, it just sends it back. Yeah, I'm probably actually going to do that real quick. But yeah, Andy, thank you for joining this whole thing. I'm sure you were probably like only mildly interested in Trello and meal planning, but uh, I appreciate you supporting me on my streaming journey. Um, so yeah. Okay, cool. Well, I think I'm going to wrap it up here. Yeah, like I said, I think I'm going to change my label name, but I mean, I don't think that's a super interesting change for you all to watch. So, thank you though so much for everybody who joined. I saw we kind of had a couple people come here in and out, and so yeah, thank you so much. This was really fun. If you think of any other topics you want to see, let me know. And as I'm assuming we're going to have quite a few people rewatching this, um, feel free to post any comments in here of other things you'd like to see. Ooh. Return, reset. Ooh, that's a good idea. Yeah. Reset's I actually kind of like reset. Yeah. Yeah. I think, yeah, that really is the hardest thing in computer science is like naming variables. Yeah. What is it? It's like, hardest thing in computer science is, and I always forget it, cache validation or something like that, which I don't even know entirely what that is. But yeah. So cool. All right. Well, we're going to wrap her up, but thanks again so much, everyone. And I'll